So, Tiana Taylor is finally spilling the tea on her time in the music industry, and when I tell y'all that our good sis was going through it, you better believe me. She is finally speaking up about how Pharrell Williams killed her career and almost ruined it completely. I swear what really goes on behind the scenes is wild, and Tiana didn't deserve one single bit of it. Okay, so not many people may know this, but Tiana Taylor has actually been in Hollywood for a very long time, but it took her some time to get her big break. She's been in the industry since the early 2000s, and she was signed by Pharrell Williams when she was just 15 years old. Not many artists get signed when they're teenagers, so I think that this just tells us that Tiana was insanely talented even back then. Pharrell signed her to his label Star Trek Entertainment, which was a subsidiary of Interscope Records, and he had a great relationship with Tiana from the very start. They were so close that she would even call him Pops, and he loved it when she did that.
You cannot tell me that wasn't my Pops, you feel me? Like, and I really like looked
Did he
up to
know
him.
that though?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? He didn't have kids at the time, and he wanted kids, and he would be like, yo, she called me her Pops. Like, he was really proud of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that shows that they genuinely care for each other, and in a place like Hollywood, it can be very difficult to find someone who genuinely cares about you, because y'all know how labels like to take advantage of newbies, especially when they're teenagers. But unfortunately, that love did not translate into a successful career, because she somewhat blames Pharrell for almost ruining her career. To be fair to him, he didn't do it out of spite, because it was a case of him messing things up and not doing what he was supposed to do. Okay, so the thing is, when Tiana signed to Pharrell, he was launching his own solo music career. Before this, he was already a big producer in Hollywood and was also one half of the production duo, the Neptunes, who had produced songs for Jay-Z, Beyonce, Snoop Dogg, Justin Timberlake, and a lot of other big artists. He was also a member of the band lled, where he was the lead vocalist, but he finally decided to go solo, and it was not long after this that he signed Tiana. Now, it's usually a very big mistake for new artists to sign under artists who are still actively making music, because it rarely ends well. I said this before when I talked about Chloe Bailey's situation with Beyonce and why her album flopped. It's not like Beyonce is actively trying to sabotage Chloe, but she has to put her career first, and this is the same thing that happened to Tiana. It was even worse in her case because Pharrell's solo career was relatively new at the time, and he needed to pay a lot of attention to it. Plus, Pharrell's label was under Interscope, so he still had to answer to the higher-ups, and this means that he did not exactly have 100% control. I mean, let's take a look at the artists under Pharrell before he started his solo career, because they all found success under him. He signed Clips, and they released their album, Lord Willing, which debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200. He also signed Khalees, and her album Tasty debuted in the top 30 on the Billboard 200. I mean, it's been almost 20 years since the album dropped, and we still sing about how her milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours, damn right, it's better than yours.
In comparison, Tiana didn't even get an album at all. But that's not the only way that Pharrell messed things up for Tiana, because he dropped the ball big time when it came to managing her. Even though she was pretty young, Tiana has always been a hustler and fighter, so even though her music career was not popping like she hoped it would, she started doing other things to help her get recognition. And one of those things was helping other artists choreograph dance moves. She was really good at that, and she even helped Beyonce choreograph the music video for her song, Ring the Alarm.
I was young, but I walked in like full of life. I was like, hey everybody, I'm Tiana. Like, oh, she loved it. She loved it, you know? So it was just like, you know, after we got the work done and we kind of like just had a moment to like wind down, she was like, what's your situation? Like, are you signed? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, I'm signed to Pharrell. I just signed to Pharrell. She's like, is the ink dry?
Imagine having Beyonce so impressed by you that she was willing to sign you on the spot. Child, that's like the Hollywood dream, and this is where Pharrell should have made money moves with Tiana's career. I don't think it would have been difficult for him to get Tiana a Beyonce feature, because not only was B super impressed by Tiana, but she also had a great working relationship with Pharrell. But Pharrell kind of dropped the ball with that, and nothing ever happened. Remember how I said that Pharrell still had to answer to the higher-ups at Interscope Records? Well, Tiana didn't go into full detail about the drama that went on behind the scenes, but she still admitted that there were a lot of hands going into the cookie jar when it came to her and her career.
It wasn't that he didn't protect me. I just think a lot of hands started going into the cookie jar. You feel what I'm saying? And he didn't, you know, like, it's P. Like, he not about to be like, no, y'all back up. You feel me? Like,
well, she eventually released her debut solo single titled Google Me. The song didn't perform so well, but Tiana stuck with Pharrell and his label. She remained at the label for 7 years and she never got an album. Do y'all know how wild that is? She joined the label when she was 15 and left when she was around 22 and had no album. It's crazy because many upcoming artists usually put out at least 2 to 3 albums in that time frame. I mean, how can you call yourself an artist if you're not dropping songs? It don't even make sense. But somehow Tiana stayed for 7 years, and I think the reason she stayed that long is because she loved Pharrell as a mentor and she was blinded to the fact that he wasn't doing enough for her as an artist. But while her music career was struggling, she kept making a name for herself as a socialite, an actress, as well as a choreographer. Anywho, she eventually left and signed to Kanye West's Good Music, but unfortunately for her, things were not much better. She had previously collabed with Kanye on a couple of songs on his album, My Beautiful, Dark Twisted Fantasy, so they already had something of a working relationship. But when she finally dropped her debut album under Good Music, it didn't perform so well. But then things changed when she appeared in the music video for Kanye's song Fade.
Like, it seemed like every time you got to the door, it slammed in your face. That was the feeling that I was having. You get what I'm saying? Even all the way down to Fade. To do Fade and be like, this is it.
Fade was fire.
Exactly.
Another
and I
moment.
feel like right after Fade, the album should have dropped.
When I tell you the video had everyone in a chokehold, her body was bodying. The thing was banging. It was her moment and she was getting a lot of attention from it. She got endorsement deals, a modeling contract, and a lot of other stuff. What she didn't get was a push from her label. It was the perfect time for her to drop a single at the very least, but there was no rollout plan from the label. In fact, Kanye didn't even let her know when the video was coming out.
Like, even when Fade came out, I told you, I didn't know that it was dropping. I think it probably like the day of, I still didn't really all the way know. I didn't know, I wasn't even there. I watched myself on the VMAs have one of the biggest moments of my career sitting on my couch.
Knowing Kanye's main character syndrome, this doesn't surprise me at all. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to how Pharrell treated her at the beginning. He was her first point of contact in the industry, and if he had treated her well and taught her what to expect from a label, maybe she wouldn't have entered into another crappy situation with Good Music. It was his job and he failed her, and ultimately this is what affected her music career.
Push him out the way. And I guess for me, that 15-year-old, that girl just needed you to fight a little harder. You know what I'm saying? Needed you to maybe push. Even if you didn't have the strength to, I just needed you to push for me more.
So even though Pharrell didn't kill her career out of spite, he still ruined it, and she ended up getting so frustrated that she finally quit music.
Yes, I am gonna feel underappreciated if I'm putting in 110% and my label is giving me, they're reciprocating, what, 10% of that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I constantly feel alone. I constantly feel unappreciated. I constantly feel failed. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's literally no push.
Someone commented, Khalees said that Pharrell was a slime ball and y'all dragged her because she don't want B to sample her song. Another person tweeted, Khalees said something very similar about him. It's definitely a pattern with him. Be doing black artists dirty, but will holler black excellence. And this other person said, definitely felt Pharrell mishandled Teyana Taylor. But do you guys think Pharrell destroyed her on purpose, or was Tiana just a victim of circumstances? Let me know your thoughts and then check out this next video.